So new morning brief with Logicalorange. Good morning everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video we are going to check the current market situation, starting with Bitcoin, which seems to be in a symmetrical triangle. Now, as we know, symmetrical triangles means that the price has 50-50 chances to go up or down, so bears and bulls are stuck in this formation. Let's now check the potential targets and see what we must do in order to take some profit from the future moves. So starting with Bitcoin, I'm here on the daily chart, and we can see that with the trend lines that we have drawn last week, it's pretty obvious. We have what seems to look like a symmetrical triangle that I'm going to draw right here, and basically we have rejected in the area that was more likely to be touched by the price, now confirming that this is indeed a triangle and that the price is stuck in it. Now, what can we do in this formation? Well, as a trader, you should know that this formation should not be traded when the price is inside it. You can only trade or take trades when the price decides to leave. But let's check some targets and see if they can project correctly on this map. So as we know, on a symmetrical triangle, we will be leaving the triangle between 70 and 80% of its length. So right now we are about, let's say, 60%, and I'm just gonna place this here. I'm not very precise with this, but I am just going to assume that the price will leave somewhere around this area. So if we leave around here, we would be around 75% of the length of the symmetrical triangle. So this would be a target to the upside. Let's now plot another one to the downside at the same location. This way we are consistent and see if we have some correlations. So right now on the downside, if the price leaves to the downside, we will be touching the entry area for the big portfolio entries, which would be the phase 4 of this formation, and the final one, accumulation on the spot account for a minimum of 1 to 2 months. So we would need to leave the price the opportunity to get to this level, accumulate, and then let it run on the upside. Now, what do we have on this map chart that tells us the potential direction of the market right now? So personally, the cross that we have here is kind of worrying because it indicates potential bearish move. This is for the current bulls. With a bearish move right here, we can potentially have something like this and then leave to the downside and maybe touch our target. In order for the price to break to the upside, it currently has a lot of resistance between Fibonacci levels and previous turn points of the price that we have plotted here on the chart. There are a lot of resistances along the way, the 0.618, the 0.5, this resistance right here. Don't forget that EMAs themselves can act as resistances and support, and they do act as resistances and support, especially the ones that are directly plotted on Binance chart, because people usually trade on that. They don't use external, not everyone uses external charting applications like TradingView. Many people just trade on their phone. They have some simple EMAs, they place stop losses around them. So this is also very important to know. So on the upside, we have a lot of resistance between the resistance lines, Fibonacci levels, and the EMAs themselves. On the downside, we have the supports that we have already tested. So at 30k, then some small supports at 31 and 30.5k. Then it's all the way down if we break below the 0.2 Fibonacci level. all the way down, meaning that we can go in this area right here between 20 and 22k, 22.23k. And this, as I said, is a perfect accumulation area. Now, what happens on the shorter time frames? Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, which can be a bit more precise. We have a lot more candles, so a lot of information to work with. So the current difference between the top and the bottom of the triangle is indeed 13%, which can allow us to scalp if we want to. However, be extremely careful, because if it pops out of the triangle, you should close your scalps with no delay. It can be extremely risky to trade the wrong direction right now, because the potential move, if we retrace, will be big, and the price will not return in this area for the foreseen future. So right now we are based, our price is currently hugging and is currently trapped between the 0.3 Fibonacci level and the faster EMA that we have on our indicator. So right now the price is just dinging between the two. Probably it will make another attempt to the upside, because we have a good amount of volume right here, and then retest the downside. Of course, with the cross that we have on the daily, we have a lot of chances of becoming bearish for the short period of time. However, on the long term, and the fundamentals are extremely bullish. I don't need to teach you this. Bitcoin is bullish on the long term. Fundamentally, technically, right now it is unstable, and personally I do not trade Bitcoin at the moment. I'm watching for some potential coins that are viable for trades this week. They haven't broken out correctly yet. However, let's take a look at two coins that I think we should watch this week. So I'm here with ADA on the 4-hour chart, and we also have a symmetrical triangle. This time it is almost ready to explode, so ready to leave the formation. So let's make the same measurement. So take the higher part of the triangle. We can also expand it here. We would be able to do it like this and measure the bigger part of the movement, and then expand it, as always, 70 to 80%, where it can leave the formation. And in my opinion, I do not need to plot a downside target, because it has extremely good news, and the potential target for this is extremely logical. It would just break the all-time high with a wick and then retest, return, probably something like this, then turn and then retest once more, and then correct, depending on what Bitcoin does. Very good potential here with ADA. If we measure it, we can have 55%, 50 to 55% move. Of course, it will not happen overnight. It will not happen in a week. This move can happen in 1 month or more. It really depends on how Bitcoin also reacts. It depends on the cryptocurrency market sentiment in general. But as we know, the market sentiment can be flipped like a switch with some tweets and a social explosion of some kind on Reddit or whatever. However, the potential target, if ADA leaves this triangle on the upside, is extremely high, so 50 to 55%, and I think that this is really achievable if the market supports it. Of course, if Bitcoin dumps, it will not hold, and ADA will also dump to the downside. Now, of course, as I said, being into the triangle isn't a perfect trade entry, so we also every time we need to leave some leg room, some headroom for the price to move. And in this case, for me, a potential entry would be somewhere around here, with a stop loss inside, or better outside of the triangle. Of course, outside we risk losing a lot more, so make sure that you can check your entries, your risk management, and this would be the potential trade that we can have for ADA. Also for other coins that have similar formation. Another coin that has a similar formation and that I want to talk about is Solana. So Sol has, of course, similar formation as ADA, as Bitcoin. Of course, they come from the same tree, branches of the same tree. The positive news for Solana is increasing. That's why I am exceptionally bullish on this coin and might be releasing a clear signal soon, of course, after we leave the symmetrical triangle. So symmetrical triangle also here, something like this. Not gonna be very precise with it because it's just for the example. And of course an entry somewhere around here, and we can measure the potential of this move by doing the same thing, measuring and plotting 80% of the move if we leave the triangle. So this would be another good trade that we can take. What can mess up these trades on Solana and ADA is if the price on these two or any of them leaves the pattern in a bullish manner, we enter, and then Bitcoin decides to break down. Well, the price can re-enter the triangle, and if we have a stop loss inside the triangle, it can trigger, so we lost the trade. However, if you have a good risk management plan, you can go outside of the triangle. Just be careful to preserve a good risk reward ratio. It is very important. As I said, minimum 1.7 if you want to be consistent on the long term. We can also just place it inside the triangle and risk less. This would allow us to have a bigger entry right here. So to resume, ADA, Solana, Bitcoin, we charted them all today. On Solana and ADA, we are waiting for the best entry possible. Of course, they can move much more than Bitcoin can. Other coins are in a similar pattern and have good news and good sentiments overall. These are also to be explored. I will be sharing some of them on the strategies channel soon, so make sure to check it out. So this is all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, as always, don't hesitate to write to me on the chat. And if you like this video, please leave a like. Thank you and have a great day.